The Alternox Prime released with the old piece as part of the Gyre Prime set. This rifle primary weapon fires an automatic barrage of pure electric shots with an alternate fire mode to create a fixed discharge zone lasting 10 seconds. Unlike many automatic weapons, however, Alternox has more in common with the Fulmin, Archiplasma and Naturuk. Alternox projectiles are wide-body projectiles with a hitbox larger than the shot itself may seem to cover. These projectiles can pass through an unlimited number of enemies without losing any effectiveness, and they have multiplicative damage scaling from galvanized aptitude and similar effects. However, this comes with a trade-off of having no bonus damage on headshots, critical or otherwise. For precision combat, this can mean as much as a 6-fold damage reduction compared to headshot-capable weaponry with the same stats. To really feel for the effectiveness of this weapon then, we need to properly compare the Alternox to its competition. Unlike the Archiplasma or Naturuk, which have very different means of acquisition, the Fulmin Prime and Alternox Prime both come from relics. Fulmin Prime is a Mastery 12 item to Alternox Prime's Mastery 13, so by all accounts, these are about as fair as a comparison as we can get. This is the go-to all-round build I have been utilising on the Fulmin Prime prior to the old piece. It's capable of 3 unique status effects on its shotgun mode, gains a 30% headshot damage bonus from primary deadhead, and overall proves to be an effective prime weapon, even though it's not on the level of most incarnates. I usually operated with a companion bearing Reinforced Bond and Tenacious Bond for an additive 60% fire rate and final 1.2 times critical damage bonus, but we'll overlook those for this comparison. Let's stick to the on-screen buffs. Fully stacked, this has an average damage per hit of 255,470. Multiplying multi-shot and fire rate, the estimated DPS is 1.46 million. Now let's run the same numbers on the Alternox Prime with its higher fire rate, lower base damage and crit chance, and 2 unique procs instead of 3 as it lacks impact. We get an average damage per hit of 19,060 and an estimated DPS of 268,569. That is 18.4% of the DPS of the Fulmin Prime. Fulmin has a recharging battery, innately sized attacks, the impact plus stagger for taking down heavy units more effectively, plus an automatic hit scan mode for long distance threats. Meanwhile, the Alternox has substantially higher unforced status per second, delivering 10.1 procs per target per second to the Fulmin's 2.3, although the Fulmin deals an extra 5.7 forced impact procs per second. Those extra procs on the Alternox and greater favour of damaging procs closes the gap a bit, but not by overly much. Otherwise, the advantage is the Alternox can fire considerably further than the Fulmin, only to then run into issues with projectile velocity at very long ranges. On a damage to damage basis, the Fulmin wins by a long stretch. In general gameplay, there are few situations where the Fulmin is outranged and can't reasonably get in range fast enough. Even when the shotgun mode can't reach far enough, the Fulmin automatic mode still works. With the same build, you can get 1.1 million DPS on headshots with hit scan application. There's no real getting around this comparison. Any external buff you can apply to the Alternox, like applying more status effects with a primal weapon, you can apply just as readily to the Fulmin. If you're looking for a wide-body projectile, electricity-focused, crit-capable primary weapon, the Fulmin simply outclasses the Alternox for damage and functionality. So let's refocus on the strengths and unique properties of the Alternox. It has a higher status chance, higher fire rate, and the alternate fire for a redamaging and status proccing zone. Can that hold up as a status primal weapon instead? Well, here we run into a new set of issues. While its status chance is higher, it's not the best status chance of primary weapons. It doesn't come with an array of status types, innately only delivering electric, which doesn't serve a strong purpose on a primer. Its application is in a straight line, unlike AoE application like you can get from the Cedo, Bubonico, or even Amprex. Oh sure, the Amprex has just a 22% status chance to Alternox Prime's 40%. But the Amprex also fires more than twice as fast and chains far more easily, compensating for the status deficiency. When it comes to using a secondary fire of the Alternox, this creates a persistent AoE, but with serious limits again. It pulses only once per second, which you cannot modify by fire rate. It covers a relatively small fixed area around the point of impact, great for choke points, not great for room coverage or on-the-go support. It is entirely unmodified by multi-shot, vastly diminishing the hits per target per second. And then to top it off, you can only have one of these 10-second duration zones active at a time. If enemies are coming from multiple directions, you just can't get the coverage to keep up. In general, Alternox Prime will not serve to be a consistent and well-applied status primer compared to typical competition. All of these issues are near enough the same issues plaguing the base Alternox. The Prime has more fire rate, more magazine, more critical chance, more status chance, and more damage, yet still it is dealing with the same 10-second ult fire, the same single zone restriction, the same damage type over specialization. I want to be clear though, this doesn't make the weapon unusable. With appropriate additional buffs like Primary Bulwark and a Weapon Platform Lavos for damage building, or Primary Crux, Mecha Set, and Citrine's Prismatic Gem for status building, it can still be viable right through Steel Path. When you don't need the extra damage because you're already into overkill, you're free to play more fashionably and thematically, and that's what the Alternox is. A fashionable and flashy weapon capturing the visuals of Gyre in gun form. But when the going gets tough, swapping this weapon out is an easy way to fix any issues you're having. As it currently stands, the Alternox will make a nice decoration in my arsenal. I hope this guide has given you what you need for the Alternox. Sure, it may not be the ringing endorsement of the latest super weapon, but you know how far you can take it and what issues you need to work around in the pursuit of fashion. That's all from me for now, so as always, shoot sparks, stun marks, and fight well, Tenno.